Lady Babylon in the flesh.
You begin the place. Magic is medicine. Wish you would. Shoot you all up. Kush. You begin the place. Magic is medicine. Wish you would. Athena whispered to me, don't believe in any more lies. Getting crazy on the moonshine. When you purple something, the little bits that you give to the goddess. Athena follows Odysseus around. She makes men fulfill their desires to be with the woman. Christened with aphrodisiac. Once you are out producing the theoriac, watch out, your brain will open up. Athena with the purple cup. Treat you all up, Kush, you begin the place. Magic is medicine, wish you would. Treat you all up, Kush, you begin the place. Magic is medicine, wish you would.
Welcome back to Lady Babylon. This is Initiating Apocalypse, and I have lined up a beautiful, beautiful date for us tonight. I want you to have this gift that I'm going to bring you, and I'm going to spring it on you. I'm going to surprise you with it when you see it. That's what I'm going to bring you tonight. Just a little bit of extra. Hail Satan, everybody. That's right. That's right, Blind Lewis. Hail Satan. Love it. Thank you for coming back tonight. I want to bring you something that is Lady Babylon. But in order for us to get to her, we have to go through centuries of lies and liars. We've got to cut through what was placed over the narrative. We've got to cut through that and get back beyond to the original dirt. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And we're going to, at the same time, I want to apologize ahead of time. I'm going to be making merciless fun of languages that are inadequate. I'm going to take you to look at those languages and their third grade level that got swallowed up by this masterpiece of beauty. Number one prize, ancient Greek. You know, those apes didn't get any further than they did, but they did have ancient Greek. Yeah. Yes. 1.7 million unique word forms. That's a lot. That's a lot of different thoughts to have. That's a lot of different places to go that we've never been. And it's a continuous swim in this gigantic, bottomless lake. You can go as deep as you want. Tonight, we're going to go deep. We're going to go deep, and we're going to start out here with number one. Hit me with that number one. We're not going to start where you think we're going to start. We're going to start with Wikipedia. Wikipedia. This is the first time I'm going to be using the entry, because I want you to see here. What is this entry? It's Nahum, the minor prophet, right? Everybody knows their Bibles. You didn't want Nahum, right? What does it say about him? Nahum, Hebrew. Really? Was a minor prophet whose prophecy is recorded in the Tanakh, also called the Hebrew Bible, and the Old Testament, the Septuagint. What does it say? How is it different? Okay, well, tell us. Who is this guy? He wrote about the end of the Assyrian Empire. Oh, really? You really think so? How are you getting all of this information. Now pay attention. This person is trying to take you into the back alley. They're trying to pull a quick one on you. And these people who do this, who commit this crime of history, these liars, they do it with these figures like Isaiah. Do you really think Isaiah existed? No, he didn't. Nobody knew anything. None of the writings, none of these people's writings survived. And the funny thing is, that's the only quote unquote Hebrew that we've got. That's the only. Do you know what this? I'm going to give you something. This is a surprise, but it's not a surprise I'm bringing for you particularly. You are dealing with a language that is fake. These texts, the guys copying the stuff in the caves from Qumran, they're copying that from the Greek originals. That language is defunct, it's dead, it's gone, and people are faking it. They're faking it. My God. Imagine that. How could we tell? How could we tell that this is happening? It's all in the language. It's all in the Greek. It's beautiful. And so remember, this thing is being written in the 3rd century, and it's being written at the level of, I'd put it like an 8th grade level. Yeah, I put it about there. And by the way, this fakery that's happening can be very easily traced. Did you know that the same person who wrote Lamentations also wrote Esther? Yeah. You can just show it from their language. Now, you couldn't show that before because you thought it was from Hebrew, which is a later invention from a language that didn't leave any libraries, any literature. Did you know the only ancient Hebrew that you have are from the document that we know is from the 3rd century, Greece, right? Well, Greek, Egypt, right? But the area of the world that is actively using Greek, where Greek has just come in and kicked the life out of the weak languages. Weak languages. Watch this. We're going to show you some weakness. Give me that next one. Watch this, people. Nahum's writings could be taken as prophecy or as history. Okay. These writings, those are genres, right? So no, it's either prophecy or it's history. Those are two very different things. And these genres have been well established for many centuries by these crazy Greeks. And when I say Greek, all different ethnicities and different types of Greeks, but people who spoke the language that swallowed everything else up. Look at this. Nahum's writings can be taken as prophecy or as history. One account suggests. Why does it suggest it? Because you're making stuff up. One account suggests that his writings are a prophecy written about 615 BC, just before the downfall of Assyria. Oh, I wonder why we think he's from there, because that's what the document says that we have from the 3rd century. We already have the frickin' Septuagint in the 3rd century. Nobody has heard of it before. Nobody. There's no records of any of these fictional characters. None of them. Julius Caesar. What does he want me to say? He wants me to say he is more real. Do you understand? Oh my God. Watch what happens. I'm going to show you. The book was introduced in Reformation theologian Calvin, who's a murderer, commentary as a complete and finished poem. Calvin caused all sorts of death. Nice job. How do I know that, people? Because I'm a friend of the devil. And every once in a while, he shows me the chambers where all of these bastards are being tortured. And it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Ask for a prison tour sometime. You'd like it. You'd like it. They used to make a picnic out of that. You know, Odysseus went out just for the sake of going to hell, right? It's nothing new. Nothing new, man. Gonna go see Grandpa. Doesn't anybody want to see Grandpa? Give me that. Give me the blow it up, Chewy. What does he say? Now listen to this. This is total silliness. I'm not going to dwell on this. No one of the minor prophets seems to equal the sublimity, the vehemence, and the boldness of Nahum. You want to know what that vehemence he talks about his intro, right? And he says, look, this guy's got he's got this beautiful ramp. What? Have you read any ancient literature? This is child's play. It's not just child's play, it's insulting. The ramp up is God is friggin' angry. God's going to destroy you. What have you done? Where are all those harlots? Oh, God's going to kill you all. That's what this is about a city called Nineveh. And who was in Nineveh? Lady Babylon was in Nineveh. And I'm going to show you the text. And the text is going to tell you, and I promise you this tonight, if you'll hang in with me, the text is going to speak my name. And the text is going to show you the future. Are you ready? You're going to love this. You're going to love this. It's delicious. Who are they? Were they invited? That's fantastic. Hello, guys. Have a seat. Did they drink it yet? All right. Let's see. It's taking longer than usual, Chewy. What's going on? Make sure you've got enough in the mixture. There are indications that an acrostic, watch this. Watch what happens. There are indications that an acrostic underlines the present text. Thus, 1-2 begins with the first letter of the alphabet, right? The Hebrew alphabet. These are talking about the Hebrew traditions that built later on top of the Greek. So the people who were translating the original Septuagint, those people were creating a form of Hebrew that ends up, they try to do cutesy stuff like weave in acrostics, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I meant aleph, bet, gimel, dalet. Why do they have the same, mommy? Why do they have the same? Do you know why, Timmy? The Greek is ages older. Ages. And the Greek is flourishing all over the Mediterranean, all over. And those people there, they're speaking Greek. And there's a movement of them, a group of monists, because I want you to realize something as we work through this. I want you to realize there was no Hebrew circulating. There was a group of monists who were of the Jewish ethnicity. And these monists, just like the evangelicals today, I've got lots of friends in Israel who would tell you to your face, you can take that religion and shove it, right? They don't care about that. They care about the democracy. And I'll bet they're upset. I'll bet they're thinking they can make their voices heard. I bet they are. These are the people. These are the people. It's the classical spring that we have to go back to. And in order to do that, I've got to take you to some dark places. Here's another one. What was there? Anything there? It's okay. Here, what is this? This is the prophet speaking after God said he's going to crush everyone, right? He's going to even destroy their city, take it off its foundations, right? And he's going to say, like the smilax, right? Like the smilax, when it is put into the form of a crown, gets all dry and brittle, like calamine, that grass blows away. That's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to do to these people, especially these people in Nineveh, right? Give me the next one. That's where we are, is Nineveh. Nineveh. And people will say, wait a minute, are we in Bible times? No, we're in history. I just want you to see that I'm not making this up. For the enemy shall be laid bare even to the foundation, and shall be devoured as twisted yew, and as stubble fully dry. Do you know what that yew is, that smilax? That is the botanical that is used in those crowns as we celebrate the dead. The dead. We celebrate the dead. Okay. All right. Give me the next one. I need the next one. I know, Chewy. Okay. Look at the New International Version. Now, this is going to be based on the Hebrew. They will be entangled among thorns and drunk from what? And drunk. There's no drunkenness in there. This is my example. I brought, I think, 3 examples today of how bad Hebrew was used to distort the original Greek meaning. And this is one of them. This is what I call invention. Something has to be thrown in because they didn't like what was being said, and boom, right? It was either because they didn't like it, which I think is why they're dropping a lot of the Christs from the Hebrew. The Hebrews will drop it out, right? And by the way, a little tidbit of an announcement of beauty. There is no word Messiah. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. When you're talking about that in the Septuagint, it's the Christ. It's never. And that's why the governor asked him, you know what I mean? Oh, whose truth, baby? Whose truth? Give me the next one. Quick, while they're down. Watch this. I just wanted you to see you can talk about food to be eaten. Oh, let's get back up again. Pharmakon. Look at that. Pharmakon as opposed to poton. Right? I just wanted you to see the things that we can eat are drugs. Drugs. Give me the next one. Here it comes. I know, Chew. I'm going fast. Here's another common error going from the Greek to the Hebrew. As you browse, looking what the Hebrew did to the Greek, you find it'll drop concepts like logismos, right? It'll drop polysyllabic, complex concepts. It'll drop them off completely. Go to the next one. And what else? I wanted you to see here. Look at the reasoning here. Counting or calculation. Okay. An account or a reckoning, a holding of an audit. Okay. Without reference to number, it's reasoning, an argument, or reasoning power. So that is your power of calculating, your power of discernment via reason. Love it. Love it. Logos, right? Okay, so this concept, the author in the Septuagint is able to handle. The translator's not. Translator's not. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. And what's going to happen? I'm God, so I'm going to destroy, right? This is the monism. This is the 3rd century. Remember, we're in the 3rd century, and this is being written. This is Septuagint, right? It's being written in Greek for the first time. And what does he say we're going to destroy of all you people, right? Who are all in this cult. We're going to destroy your glupta, your sculptures, and your honeota, your things that are molten, things that you have to create a cast for. You know what I mean? Pour the molten metals in there, and there you go. I'm going to break all that shit. Okay, now wait a minute. Where are we in time? We're in the 3rd century. Now you're going to get a hiccup because we're going to go back a little bit. We're going to go back in time. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. Watch this, people. God is saying, Curio says, look, I'm going to turn away the hubris of Jacob and the hubris of Israel. Right? Now, hubris is a very complex Greek concept, and it's perfectly native right here. It's gorgeous, right? Fits gorgeously. But there's no way this is a translation of the Hebrew, because the Hebrew, give me the next one. What does he do with their hubris in the Hebrew? Where is that? Well, here, that one. I didn't need. Give me the next one. He turns it into a virtue, excellency. And of course, the King James translators are using the Hebrew faked form. It's a forgery. Historically, that's what you call it. The Hebrew forgery is producing this. The Lord hath turned away the excellency of Jacob. Wait, what? Excuse me? Now, if you think for a minute that any person would translate excellency into the Greek word for hubris, you have no reckoning of ancient Greek. Hubris is something that you do. There's a whole science of hubris, by the way. It's like psychology, right? They have a track, Koros Hubris Ate. First you get wealth, then hubris. Some kind of act where you think you're better than the rest of us. Yeah. And what do the gods send you then? What does the universe send you then? Send you your downfall, Hitler. Sends you your downfall. Down with tyrants. Down with tyrants. Do you know why Euripides has the tyrant come out and forbid people from worshiping Bacchus? Yeah. It's time to go. It's time to go. Give me the next one. Oh, by the way, did I mention the interview? No. Emily Moyer, please, Satanic Congregation. Wow, there's 606 of you. That's nice. It makes me comfortable. Go to Emily Moyer, and I'll put out a link to her podcast. And I just had a delightful conversation, and I think she's one of the most interesting people that I've met. And I'm compelled by part of the reasoning stuff she was doing. It was mental gymnastics, and she is a gymnast. I think something wore off. Something about the gymnasium. Shall we go wrestle? I love it. It was a good conversation. She's a credible person. So, anywho, let's go to the next one. Look, I'm telling you constantly, please, Satanic Congregation, I'm constantly telling you, look, the Greek stuff just is way beyond anything in the area, right? I want to actually show you. You're looking at the so-called Epic of Gilgamesh written in that chicken scratch. Listen, I had Near Eastern studies with Norman Yaffe, who knows this chicken scratch inside and out, and Babylonian and Akkadian and all the other Adians. Okay? There was a library of this dude named Ashurbanipal. And if you can call it a library, it produced some stuff like this. like this. And really, people, it's mostly lists, palace lists, and stuff like that. I'll show you because you don't believe me, but I want you to look at it. Satanic congregation, look at that chicken scratch. Oh my God. The history of humanity is a history of languages that suck and die and languages that conquer. It's a survival thing. It's probably in its DNA. Look at that. Come on. Who's going to read that? Seriously? I would scratch my backside with that. That's what I would do with that if I were. And I know I'm talking like the ancient Greeks did, though. But there's a reason. Come on, man. Seriously? You really want to test me? Okay, fine. Fine. Let's look at Gilgamesh. Get in here. Get in here, Gilgamesh. Now, what you're doing, come here, Gilgamesh, is you're interviewing a third grader. Gilgamesh, take some of this. Here we go. Bring it up. Bring it up. People, don't tell me this is just because of the translation. Are you ready? They placed food in front of him, comma. They placed beer in front of him. What was that, Tommy? What happened at the party, Tommy? Can you tell me one more time? Enkidu, what? Enkidu knew nothing about eating bread for food? Really? And of drinking beer? He had not been taught. I get it, Tommy. Okay, just tell me what happened. The harlot, Tommy, don't use language like that. The harlot spoke to Enkidu saying, eat the food, Enkidu. Do you remember when you had a second grade reader, right? And it was like, you know, almost 666, not quite. When you had your second grade reader, and it was Jack and Jill, and they're going up the hill. Why? To fetch a pail of water, right? And all that kind of stuff. And you're following, blah, blah, blah. What kind of school instruction booklet would this be? Probably about third grade. Eat the food, Enkidu. It is the way one lives. Drink the beer. It's custom of the land. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Seriously, they call this epic. There's no wonder. You've got to know that ancient Greeks stood around and bragged about how good their language was and how happy they were that they were not barbarians. And what was a barbarian? Anybody bar, whose language was not Greek. And Greek, historically, sucked them all up. Just devastated them all. What does this say? The city. Oh, we're talking about Nineveh. Watch this, people. More BS. The city was said to be devoted to the goddess Inanna of Nineveh. Cool. And Nina was one of the Sumerian and Assyrian names for that goddess. Cool. The Assyrian cuneiform for Nina, which is a fish. Wait, what? Wait, what did Tommy do? He was trying to draw Nina, and he put a fish in a house. What the hell does that mean? What is that? I'm serious. This may have, look, they don't even know. They're like, look, this kid is, he's a little bit slow. This may have simply intended place a fish. Huh. You sure it's not just the word for like fish market or something? Or may have indicated a goddess? Probably. Possibly. Hurrian. Possibly Hurrian. Oh, God. Wonderful scholarship, people. That's just a salad of guessery. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. Nineveh was one of the oldest and greatest cities. It's 2 mounds, 2 lumps of dirt, people. Text from the Hellenistic period. Look, notice it's text from the Hellenistic period, right? What do you think? Because they're the ones who are writing. They're the educated people. And then what is Book of Genesis? Notice then they quote the Book of Genesis. You know where the Book of Genesis is from? It's Hellenistic. Why do you think? This is just another of the 5 gazillion ways that you'd have to be completely stoned to think that the Septuagint was originally in Hebrew. Those monist Jewish scriptures are written at a time when that stuff doesn't exist. It's a movement against polytheistic Jews who have completely embraced Hellenism. They're perfectly happy going to synagogues with Ion. That's what they put on they put Ion, the god Ion, with the zodiac around him. They're perfectly happy with that in their synagogues, which is a Greek word, synagogue. Okay? There is no Hebrew. Ancient Hebrew was the invention of a monist sect that wanted to break away from Jewish polytheism. Your ancestors were way cooler than you thought. That's what that means. That's what that means. Yeah. Now, swallow the monism. Swallow the monism, and now maybe they'll figure it out in court. Settlements. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. Isn't it fun? It's fun to encourage people. Let's see some of the art that these friggin' geniuses came up with in Nineveh, which is 2 mounds of dirt. Look at this. Now, look, people. I'm just saying. I could pretty much see exactly how this thing was planned out. There was a dude, and he was like, "Oh man, look at that stone. That shit is flat. We're gonna, what we're gonna do? We're gonna make some figures." And then another dude said, "Put some sheep. Put a row of sheep. Put a row of sheep." And then another dude came in, and he was like, "What are you guys doing?" And they're like, "We're gonna make some, I don't know, some art." And he was like, "You know what? Put me there and put a giant hat on me and make everybody bring these sheep to me. Make them all bring them to me. And then put some guy on the top with some holy wand." And he's like, "Oh, do that." And look at, okay, this is the culture whose language is not advanced enough to come up with forms. To come up with forms that are things that here, let me show you, for example. Now, people say, "Look, here's another one. Oh, this genius. Who put this together? Giant block? It's a giant block, and we're going to make," and I know people are saying, "Oh, what is he doing? That's priceless. That is priceless from the dynasty." Yeah. And it's got that funny thing, like at a museum. You walk around the front and you can see the different legs. Because you notice it's got one too many legs. Did you notice that? Right? But they did manage to get they did manage to get some belly out of it. You know why? Because they don't have the language to go where I'm about to show you. What is that? Is that more? Oh, do we have to read it? The majority of the tablet corpus, this is from the library, included colloquial compositions in the form of legislation. This is what you get with the language. Legislation, right? We're not talking about modern advanced legislation either. We're talking about deals for building irrigation systems and stuff like that. It's not that interesting. Foreign correspondences, okay, engagements, aristocratic declarations, and financial matters. It's from this that people think, most of society wasn't literate. You can say that about this. I know I have looked at the Linear P that is the Mycenaean Greek. And when it says that there's medicine there, it's because they're talking about lists of ingredients that they're shipping places. All right. And you'll notice the language at that time is stuck. It is stuck in this form, this non-alphabetic form. The greatest achievement was bringing the instrument whereby Greek could fully express herself. That was the achievement. That was the achievement. Let's go. Let's keep reading. The remaining text contains divinations, omens, incantations, hymns, while others are concerned with medicine, astronomy, that is, they'll mention an ingredient. Don't get me wrong, these are not treatises on medicine. For all these texts in the library, only 10, listen to this, only 10 contain expressive, rhythmic, literary works, such as epics and myths. And they're calling those things epics, right? Epic of Gilgamesh, right? Oh, God. Seriously? Look at the buildings, people. Look at the buildings, right? And that's like friggin' reconstructed, right? Right? Okay, give me the next one. Show me some more of the site. What does it look like? Yeah. There we go. What happened? What happened? Well, is it the materials you're using? Right? No, give them the picture of what they're competing with. Give them the picture of what they're, oh, here's the stone too. Everybody says, "Ooh, look at this art. Ooh, the relief." Yeah. Okay. It's like that Egyptian garbage. And you know what? I don't work right now in a situation where I have to worry. Any professor, get it straight, people, any professor at a university right now would never say this. But they all know it. And it's strange. It's kind of strange. You know what allowed art to become so beautiful under the Greeks? It was the language. It turns out the secret's in the language. Computing language. Give me the next one. What are they competing against, people? You know what those mud hills were competing against? They were competing against this. Right? And anytime you look at Nineveh, you're going to see an artist reconstruction. Okay? Don't get excited. They always blow it way out of proportion, right? It's like the movies. They always blow it way out of scale-wise. Nope, sorry. Just, what they had construction-wise to work with. Oh. Look at what they're competing with. You can't compete with Athens. You can't compete with Athens. And you say, oh, that stuff, that's got to be newer stuff. No. It's not like they developed better technology. The cult on that Acropolis is old. Look what they managed to do. You know how you get to this point where your stone pillars, your columns are women? Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that the most gorgeous thing that you've seen? You know how much weight must be on that neck? Do you think the Greeks sat around and said, you know what, let's put some sheep on it, let's put some people and just carve them in? No, dude. There has to be engineering here. There's incredible engineering. Give me another one. Look at this sculpture. Look at it. Dude, everybody has the right number of legs and arms. Yep. What are you looking at? You're looking at the progression of a language. Give me this one. Right? Now, this statue was melted down because of what it was made of. It was made of gold and ivory. The statue of Athena that was there. Statue of Athena. This society that is polytheistic and is using the Greek language achieves its engineering feats through its language. A lot of people say, and again, I'm going to say something nobody would say from university. Oh, pyramids. So, well, what have you got? You got a bunch of big blocks piled on top of each other. And what is your literature? Oh, I'm sorry, you don't have any. You've got the Book of the Dead. Have you read the Book of the Dead? It's written not by a third grader, by a second grader. Oh, Egyptian this and Egyptian that. They've got stone friggin' blocks. Big deal. They figured out how to squash enough slaves to get those blocks on top of each other. Woo, mystery, UFOs. Bullshit. Look at a Greek temple. Did we have one more of a Greek temple? Do you have any in there? Did you know, people, you need to appreciate this for a minute. need to appreciate this. If you can find a temple, bring us a temple, Chewy. Those columns that are, make up the Greek temples, from a distance, when you're miles away from the temple, and you can see the thing for miles, they're built that way, right? And you can say the same thing. You can say the same thing. That's okay. Leave it out. That has columns. You can say the same thing for the pyramid, right? But the pyramids are just blocks. That column has to fight an optical illusion, because when you get a certain distance from it, it will bend in the middle. It's an optical illusion. And your temple at a certain distance will look like, what's wrong? It's got all these little bendy. It's very not nice to look at. Did you know the Greeks calculated how to compensate for that, so that all the way out, you could look at it and those columns look straight. They straightened them. And how did they do that? With just a little bulge. With just a little bulge. Yeah. Oh, God. The engineering. Okay. Let's give it. Where's Lady Babylon? I'm getting ready. Here it's coming, Pabel. I'm going to give you the surprise. Oh, what was that for? Redemption. This is how they replaced hubris. Can you believe this? Anybody who knows Greek knows that hubris is an assault, baby. Right? It's an assault. It's, I can't say the R word. It'll get me off of here. It's banana-ing, right? Redemption. Who chose that? And what Greek slipped and went from redemption to assault? Bad form, right? Bad form. Give me the next one. Of course, the Hebrew couldn't. Yeah, here it is. Of course, the Hebrew couldn't have a concept like hubris. It's too complex for one word. The level of their constructions are all at the level of basic vocabulary that you need to go to kindergarten and come home and not forget your lunch money. And you know what I mean? It's just the basics. It's taking care of sheep and, on a very rudimentary level. And we're going to do this and breed these with these. Going to get these. Woo! Right? That's why God, who gets sick of how dumb the language is, says in the prophet, I'm not going to send you to somebody who speaks in a complex language. I'm going to send you to the house of Israel, right? It was a very simple language that ultimately got squashed. And then a group of its people, right? Remember, people had migrated from Crete to the Levant. And those people who were involved in those migrations are bringing that culture with them and all of the artifacts with it. They're bringing so much of it with them that you can't even find the coins that don't have Athena on them. Everybody's like in Israel's like, oh, there's another Athena coin. Boop. Right? Why? Because that was the level. Did you see Athens? Where do you think you want to live in antiquity? Where do you think everybody wants to be in antiquity? Even the Romans, who were so proud of their beautiful city, which it was beautiful, beautifully engineered too, beautifully, right? What do you think they wanted to do? They wanted to go to Athens, baby. Why? It's the place. It's the mind. It's the mind, man. It's good for you. Go there. Get in one of the festivals. Go through the initiation, right? You'll be a better person. Polytheism was the way. It was when the monists took over in Judaism, right, that they created this tradition of these prophets like the one we're looking at tonight. They invented these people. They invented them. There's no other trace of them anywhere. I tell it to people like this. Look, there is no ancient Hebrew literature outside of what you call the Torah, or what you call the Old Testament prophets, the law and the prophets. There is no Hebrew anywhere. They didn't write anything. You mean their entire civilization never figured out how to write, I don't know, maybe a suicide note? They didn't write anything? No, they didn't. They didn't. Hebrew was not only defunct by the 1st century when Jesus is around, but it's been that way for centuries. It was probably a small tribal language. We don't even have evidence for this. And every time they uncover something, it's got a scratch on it. They say, oh, it must be Hebrew. No, people, it's desperation. You don't have to do that to fulfill the monist agenda. You don't have to do that, right? You have your own history. You have your own history. You don't have to replicate what the monists would have you do, because they always throw down democracy. They always overthrow democracy. It's the one thing monism is outstanding at doing. Okay, let's not say too much because we don't want to spoil what happens. Give me the next one. Okay, people, I want to give you a couple more Nahum. And he says, oh, you city of blood, you bunch of liars, you're full of injustice. You're not going to what? You're not going to undertake those hunts? You're not going to be involved in that beastery? Give me the next one. There was no limit in the people. You know what there is wrong with Nineveh? You know what they're doing in Nineveh? In their mud friggin' huts? There's no limit, this says. There's no limit to their too much porneia, and it's affecting their bodies, baby. It's weakening them. Too much porneia? What's going on in Nineveh? There's too much porneia. Next one. I love that picture, by the way. By the way, thanks, Chewy. Wait, what? Who was the guy in the back? Who was the guy? Was that? I'm a little creeped out about that. Can we see that one again? Thank you. We got to feature Chewy's art every once in a while. Who is that? Wow. It just goes to show you, you can be on a nice date and somebody like that can always show up. You know what I mean? I like it. I like it. Can I have a cup of that? I'll take 2. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. What is she? What is this city? Are you ready for Lady Babylon? She's pornicale. She is that beautiful prostitute. Do you know who I'm talking about? I met a prostitute in Turkey before I got thrown out of a brothel. And for some reason, I didn't listen. I drank too much and I tried to rescue her. And it got me in trouble. It got me in trouble. Yeah, it did. Pornicale, right? That beautiful prostitute. It's hard for you and I to put that concept together. Have you ever known a beautiful prostitute? This is what the monist God hates most. Beautiful prostitutes. What else? As we think about it, that's okay. Leave it up. Oh, what's going on? I love that. I love that. It's nice. You always do such beautiful stuff. It's art. Give me the next one. Look at Chewy doing gorgeous stuff. Wait, no, we got to go back one. We got to go back one. Got to make sure that I got everything there. Yeah, in the porneia that you've got going on now. Oh, we almost missed it. You're a beautiful prostitute. And what else? Epicharis. You're epicharistic. What does that mean? Do you know who follows Aphrodite around? The Graces. This porne is epicharistic. She is full of grace. She is full of the grace. To the prostitute. Yes. Yeah. Who is full of grace. And what else? Egumene pharmakon. Uh-oh. She knows those drugs. And she uses the drugs. Wait. Now we're going beyond. I was trying to do it. I was trying to bring her here. The prostitute who knows the drugs. I'm getting a different picture because the thing that you may not see is when you say this is the person who has that knowledge of the drugs, it means they're a poisoner and they can kill you by lighting a candle. Right? Where'd she go? Oh shit, she's not here. Next thing you know, you wake up in the forest and there's orifices that have been places while you were asleep. Yeah. It's a reality, man. You give those witches the ability. You open that part of the brain up and you have something that's frightful and sexy at the same time. Frightfully sexy. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, I'm scared, but ooh. Give me the next one. No, the same one. Give me the same one. Good. And what else? She's selling out the people to her porneia. Right? And what are they using? They're using her pharmakos. You see, why does it keep mentioning the drugs? Because the drugs and the right go together. When they induce the death, the orgasmic death, right? Because for some reason, they're bringing you to climax while you're dying chemically. Okay, I don't know. Does something to the brain, maybe? Okay. When they're going through that process, this is what we need. Give me the text again. The porne is what? She's using those drugs, many of which can kill you. Next. Look, all right. I'm against you, says the Lord God. Oh, the all-powerful Pantocrator, right? Thank you, Zeus. Right? That's just a title, right? Kai apocalypso, and I will discover, I will show, I will take out of the darkness, I will reveal your opiso. What's your opiso? What's he going to do? He's going to show that city, right? This is God and Nineveh, right? This is what the prophecy is saying. God is saying to Nineveh, I'm going to show right in front of your face. I'm going to show your opiso. Your opiso. That sounds bad. Give me this one. What is that? Ta opiso. The hinder parts. You know what that is? There is a strip. No, we have to be specific. There is a strip between your anus and your genitalia. From sea to shining sea. This is what you get to see if you're Moses and God stops by. Remember the Templars are licking that area. The newbies get to lick that area. It's in the trials, right? And it's got the purple on it, right? Why is it? Because when you're applying the purple to Uranus, I'm not talking about the planet. When you're applying that drug, your pants are going to get stained. Okay, pants are going to get stained. It's so important that girdle that Aphrodite wears. You know why that has such a sharp sting to it? It's full of what comes out of her vagina. And do you know what that is? That's life. It's ionic life. You mean the vagina of the universe is what gives us life? Yes, Timmy. Timmy, develop your language. Perhaps you can describe this in some poetry. Stop hating women, Timmy. Monism is a step backwards. It's a step backwards. Let's keep looking. What else is she? Give me, I've got a couple more. Got a couple more. Here. Oh, God. Now back, just so you can have some contrast with Enkidu. Enkidu ate the food until he was sated. He drank beer, right? We had the food and the beer before. 7 jugs, became expansive. What, that's an awfully strange translation. That doesn't say that, right? And sang with joy. He was elated. His face glowed. He splashed his shaggy body with, okay, seriously? What's going to happen? Okay, Tommy, settle down. Learn how to tell some narrative, Tommy. Right? Give it to him. Yeah. What did he do? He rubbed himself with oil and turned into a human. Tommy, now I told you when you go to school, where is it? Tommy, I told you when you go, you've got to learn the right things. You got to learn the right things, Tommy. No, give it to, they love it, don't they? Jesus Christ, Tommy. Sorry, that was brilliant. Thank you. Hit it. No, get away from there. Let's go down here. Boom. Watch what happens, people. God says to her, this grace-filled prostitute who is giving us all health. Salvation is health. What does he say about her? I'm going to pollute. I'll bring all this pollution onto you and all this dirty foulness. And I'm going to make you a paradigma. I'm going to make you, look at that word, bottom line, paradigma. That's where we get paradigm. And this brings up our third Hebrew inadequacy. There is no way that the Hebrew, with its 7,000 basic words, can express this. You're talking about totally different societies, one advanced and one not. Okay, it's anthropology. Give me the next one. Watch what happens, people. Did I give him the definition? Oh, the paradigma. No, I didn't. But check it out sometime. Okay, and what happens? Yeah, Nineveh, people are going to be like, in the future, they're going to be like, who's going to mourn you, baby? Right? Nobody's going to be there to help you. Nobody's going to be there. Because why? Because Jehovah is beating up Nineveh. Right? Pimp Hashem is beating up Nineveh. What are you picking on Nineveh for? It's just 2 mounds of dirt, bro. And what? Give me the next one. Quick. Guess who shows up to rescue Nineveh? Guess who shows up? Surprise. Measure things out. Tune up your chords. Apportion the lots. Amen. Yeah. You know who she is? By the way, you see it the third line down? I'm translating. Amen. Right, can you see it? It's the first word. Fantastic. Amen. What are you going to do? She's coming. What does she do? She lives in those waters. She's that queen of that thalassa. She builds those walls of water. Egypt and Ethiopia are her glory. And there's no limits to her transit. Those Libyan women were her assistants. You know who we're talking about here? We're talking about Lady Babylon, who was the Medwa. We're talking about Medea, historically, Medea. She is the author and originator of your mystery. Yeah. Judaism, Christianity, all of it was an attempt to take the cult, to take the health and the activity of the drugs they were using It was all an attempt to take that and control it. To control it. One cult ruling them all, made by one woman. And who brings that woman? Ammon. Fantastic. Give me the next one. I love it. I told you the text says, right there. Go. Give me there. Here. Look. Oh, there it is, people. Can't see that? Ethiopia and Egypt. Don't you love that? Because why? She was traveling all throughout the region, right? People in Italy know her too. Woo, right? The entire group changes their ethnicity. You say, oh, it came from Persia. Persia, my anus. Son of a bitch. Nothing came out of there. Greek swallowed them too. Fantastic. Love it. And then he says, you're drunk. I'm not drunk. What the hell are you talking about, Yahoo? And your people. What does Yahoo say? Your people are like women. Do you know how big the brain of Yahoo really is? It's the equivalent of a third grader, right? Now do you see? And I know there's a ton of women, particularly out there, who are like, oh, look, one of the stupid men finally caught on. Yes, I get it. And I love it. I love it. You don't need to send me pics. I don't want stuff like that, right? Come on. Keep it straight. Let's do it. I love it. And I respect you. I respect all of you. Give me the next one. There's a fingerprint I just wanted you to see. This is the word brukos, which is the word for locust. You can see here, wingless, the wingless larva of the locust. Okay, great. No problem. Where is this particular word coming from? It's showing up in the Septuagint, and it's showing up where else? In Cypriot. In Cypriot. So there's an influence from Cyprus. Okay. That text that is the Torah or the Old Testament, that text was not written by people that you think wrote it. Right? It wasn't. And they didn't live when you think they lived. And the only history we have that says they lived back then is from the theologians who have to say they lived back then, or that document is not history. And it's not. It's not. Yeah, there's no other proof. If it were, there would be evidence, right? There'd be quotes. There would be things that happened. The Egyptians would have made a giant, skip you to the Moses followers statue, right, or something. You know what I mean? They had their art. Don't get me wrong. I've been to Egypt. I've been to the pyramids. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. And I've been down the Nile on a train, and I've been to the Karnak and all that kind of stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. It's impressive stuff, but baby, the sophistication, the art, it's got to come from the language. It's got to come from the language. Yeah. Not all languages are created equal. They're not. Mother Greek, we love you. I appreciate you coming tonight. I want everybody to know. I know I skipped and Yu's presentation of material. I'm sorry. I'm going to be lagging a little bit. And I know people are sending me applications, right? I still have a giant list of people to try to shove into classes. I'm still trying to do that. So stay tuned. I'm going to pack those classes the best I can. Right? Not until it's uncomfortable. 8 or 9 students, then it starts getting uncomfortable. Right? Okay. So I know, and I'm getting your email. I know people are like, I don't know. I didn't hear anything. I thought he was going to do. I'm catching up, and it's, don't worry. It'll come. Keep reading your text. Keep reading your text, please. Your intensive text. And I will get with each of you. I promise you, we just need a little bit of time and a little bit of patience. Thank you for me. The Aussie group is coming together. I'm going to send out their acceptance this weekend. and that'll be class Epsilon. So thank you for everybody who is working hard. I want you to know there's a great new video that came out by, what was his name? He was a bald guy with tattoos. You're going to love it. Can you post that, Chewy? Thanks. A bald guy with tattoos. He's better looking than me though. So he did a show, and he also happens to turn out he's a linguist, you know what I mean? And so he says, hey, I want you to hear it, because I don't want you to hear it from my mouth. I want you to hear it from somebody else makes me not look crazy, but makes the image that you get through the theology, he makes that look crazy. And he's exactly right. And the actual history is always way more interesting. So kudos. I'll get his name and I'll throw it out there. He does a lot of stuff. Got a ton of videos. He's got like thousands of videos. Hey, old boy. No, it's not old boy. Right. No, but hey, so I'll get him posted. See if you can get his name real quick. Can you get his name? No, we didn't. We should have prepped that clip. Okay, on the community tab. Chewy says we'll get that on the community tab. So keep an eye out for that, because it's a great interview of somebody who actually does languages, and not just so that he can have a job at a university and appear to do languages, right? Real, decent. I like that. Kudos to people. Thank you, Satanic Congregation, for coming tonight. I think that our progression to the reality is I think we're getting there, and I'm going to keep bringing it, and I'm just going to I promise people new stuff. A couple of people said, hey, he already mentioned that before. Okay. We're always going to drag along Jesus and the naked kid, right? That he was arrested with. We're always going to bring that along, right? You're always going to be looking at the right with that in the back of your mind. But what you need is the new stuff. And there's so much out there. There's so much creepiness. And I'll dig deep for you. I'll dig deep. We're going to go creepy. Thank you for hanging in. And hail Satan.
Gates of Babylon, dragon lady of the lake, snake venom dream section, Malachite, purple ion, house of Frankenstein, violent rain rhymes, Medulla hold the flame, Athena in the sky, diamond sharp on a magic carpet, I fly, the man who laughs, wear a mask, 808 thump, make these bitches jump, posse out